morning, everyone. It's always my pleasure to be invited and to share with you here at Barberton. I trust that today, as we continue in our celebration of Easter, that the Lord will bless us as we fellowship together. There are two celebrations of the Christian church that is of great importance to us. The celebration of Easter and the celebration at Christmas. These are important and perhaps I would say essential celebrations for us, because the core of our faith depends on these two celebrations. The coming of Christ, His death and resurrection for us are the foundations on which our faith is built. But we celebrate these important occasions in a time when they are becoming less and less important in the scheme of things. Their purpose and their meaning to us as human beings are now being pushed back to the thought that they are just myths that people who have no sense, people who are unwise, celebrate in this modern world of technology, of being able to do almost everything digitalized. Everything is being reduced to data. It is unnecessary and illogical to believe that some man can raise himself from the dead and that his death and resurrection has importance for us today. So Easter and Christmas, important celebrative days for the Christian, is becoming more and more a holiday. It is a time for personal relaxation and enjoyment. It is a time for shopping. It is a time for relaxation, but it's not a time for contemplation, reflection on the importance of what the coming of Christ or the death and resurrection of Christ means to us as human beings. And the more we ignore this important event in human history, the more mankind finds its way down the wrong road. We have tried, many are trying, to chart the course of their lives without any reference to God. And the course that we are moving on does not lead us to the promised land. It creates more problems than we imagine. The world in which we live has so many new things and great things, but are we better off as human beings? Our behavior, has it changed? Our attitude to each other, has it improved? And I want us to remember to think on those things during the course of my short message to you this morning. Deep reflection and meditation. What did we do this Easter? Did you and I spend some time in reflecting seriously on what Good Friday and Easter Sunday means? What does it mean to us as Christians? If we are not a Christian, what does it mean to us? Is there anything we can learn from it that will help us to make life better for us and the world in which we live? Christmas, Easter, Good Friday, Easter Sunday are now optional. Even for Christians, it is optional whether we're going to church or not. We have been so taken over by the world in which we live that how they see the holidays is exactly how we see. So they have the option of going to the North Coast for the weekend or going to some place-to-place sport rather than coming to church. Even the presentations, you're having your presentation next Sunday. Even the presentations at Christmas and Easter are becoming less and less. We have no time. It is too time consuming. It is bothersome. We can't practice, we can't make this presentation, which are important reminders for us and important teaching tools to our children. But we cannot spend the time and effort in doing these pageants and plays and what have you in order to help us to understand and to appreciate the importance of Easter. My brothers and sisters, we ignore to our peril important happenings in human history. And one of them is Easter Sunday. That God came into the world, that God came to redeem mankind to himself, is an important event that we dare not misunderstand or underestimate. It is necessary for us to have an appreciation of what God has done and is doing in the world in which we live. But why is it important? What is it that indicates to us that there is something special about Easter that we ought never to forget? What is it? I want to suggest to you that Easter Sunday has made a profound impact in the world in which we live. Perhaps no other incident has changed the course of human living as Easter Sunday. It changes the attitude, even our character, as displayed by the disciples. You remember Peter, impetuous Peter? Peter wasn't around when Jesus was under pressure. In Broadway, as the rest of them came, freed. After Easter, what happens? A dramatic change in the character and attitude of Peter and the rest of the fellows. What took place that caused persons to change their view of life, even to the extent of losing their own lives? Is Peter and Elijah? What is it that caused Paul to receive beatings after beatings because of Easter Sunday? What is it? We dismiss Easter Sunday at our peril by ignoring the importance of the event. Change of attitude. It caused a radical shift in communal behavior of the church. The early church changed its community, its relationship with each other, people within the church dramatically changed because of Easter. Let us hear this little passage that was read for us again. All the believers were in one heart and mind. No one claimed that any of his possessions was his own, but they shared everything they had. With great power, the apostles continued to testify to the resurrection of the Lord Jesus, and much grace was upon them all. There was no needy persons among them, for from time to time, those who owned land or houses sold them, brought the money from the sales, and put it at the apostles' feet, and it was distributed to anyone as he had need. Joseph, a Levite from Cyprus, whom the apostles called Barnabas, which means the son of encouragement, sold a field he owned, and brought the money and put it at the disciples' feet. The relationship between people changed. The character of men changed because of Easter. An encounter with God does not leave us the same as we were before. The encounter with the risen Lord brings about a change in our lives. And if you don't remember anything as I said, remember, where are you today? Has the encounter of God that you have had in the past, has it changed you any at all? If you are the same as when you encounter God, I am challenging you that something is wrong. No matter how good we are, there is better to come. No matter how bad we are, there is good to come. We cannot meet God and remain the same as we were before. There has to be some change. Easter brought a change in the relationships between people. Easter brought about a change in character of some people. Easter brings about change. It is important for us then to reflect and to meditate seriously on the status of our own life in relation to others and with Christ. To realign our thinking. It is not difficult for us to walk track. There are so many thoughts and ideas and philosophies facing us these days that it's not difficult for us to move off on a tangent and go down the wrong road. Easy philosophy. Those who drive know how easy it is to miss a turn and you can be miles off the mark. It's one of those, if the planes, remember this incident we had in Jamaica, the plane almost landed in Mona. By missing the mark a few inches can end up in serious disaster. Easter allows us a time to reflect, to meditate, to recalibrate our thinking, to reorder our lives. We may have gone down the wrong road. It's an opportunity to reflect. Where are we? And to make the U-turn, or to go off that highway onto another, to go on the right track, in the right direction. It gives us an opportunity to reassess the values and attitudes we have in life. Sometimes we take pride in saying, oh, we are, or we can change. We are who we are, and under no circumstances I'm going to change. We need to reassess ourselves. Our values and the attitudes we have to life need from time to time to be looked at, to be put under the microscope to determine whether we need to make some adjustments or not. That is why sometimes quietness, people don't like to be quiet. Because sometimes in quietness you have to face yourself. When we're making noise and we're moving about doing things, we don't have time to think about who we are and what we are about. There comes a time we need to meditate, sit down, spend some time with ourselves in the presence of God to determine where we are. Do we need to realign ourselves? We need to reassess ourselves, to rehabilitate our thinking. That comes out of meditation and reflection on the Word with the Spirit. I think it is necessary for us as members of the church, to push, the word is push back on those who would say to us that Easter is not an important event in life. We're having carnival today. I like carnival. But it's not part of our culture. We're forcing it upon our society to accept a mode of behavior that is not indigent to us, but to spend big money on celebrating something that we will spend the money on in rehabilitating places of safety, rehabilitating homes and things. We find the money to do all these kinds of things. We can't donate to a worthy cause, but we can't find money to buy $10,000 costume that doesn't hide anything. And we go on. Time to recalibrate. And we are the only one who have carnival in Easter. Everybody have carnival and done already. We have imposed carnival upon the most sacred of holidays in our day. My brothers and sisters, it is necessary. Our mode and method of worship is being determined by others and not by the risen Lord. I want this morning then to make 3 observations from the passage that we read. 3 observations that I hope will be of interest to you and of benefit to you, as I believe they are to me. The resurrection changed the direction of the church. The church then was a Jewish church. That's why they went to the synagogue. And they had a relationship. But something happened. Something happened. And this is what I offer to you. An encounter with God, the God of Easter, reflects itself in the relationship we experience with other members of the faith. An encounter with God, the God of Easter, must reflect itself in the relationship we experience with other members of the faith. You can't meet God and the relationship we have with others who have met God is as strange and strange. We can't be at enmity with others of the faith. We can't be at war with others of the faith. If we encounter the God of Easter, it must reflect itself in the relationship we have with each other. What took place in the early church? This encounter with the risen Lord changed the dynamics of the relationship between people. Status was no longer an important factor in life. Race was no longer an important factor. Class was no longer an important factor. So I have letters like Philemon and so on. People became equal before God. The divisions that the society had was broken down. Within the church of the resurrected Lord, all were equal before God. My brothers and my sisters, self-interest gave way to compassion and care. Self-indulgence gave way to self-sacrifice. People who met the risen Lord changed their relationship with each other. So in the new church, this is the church to which we belong. We allow the society to come into the church, to classify us according to their standard. Some of us want to bring that into the church. Not only imposed from outside, but sometimes from within. The church has no class. It has no second-class citizens. All are equal before God. God does not see male or female, Jews or Gentiles. God sees people. So I ask ourselves, as we reflect on this Easter, is that how we see ourselves? Some people are better than some people because of, some people have a right to because of, and we classify and deal with people. Some of us, I remember I met a man. He said he don't have friends with poor people, but then that can't help him. And he selectively chooses the people who he will befriend. Is that how God's people operate? So anybody and everybody is welcome in church. That's why in church we are hypocrites. But this is where all of us can come and be equal. Perfect people don't need God. My brothers and sisters, if you have encountered the God of Easter, it must affect the relationship we have with each other. We cannot see our relationship through the eyes of the world. We must see it through the eyes of God Himself. It is God's church. It is God's doing. And we are called to reflect His character, His doing. So my brothers, if our church, we can't allow the society to classify our church as middle class, as peasant class, as all kind of black church. This thing is a black church, it's a white church, where do you see the relationship of the people of God in the early church classifying themselves as church? God is to be worshipped by all peoples, everywhere, anytime, regardless of who they are. So we have no right in excluding because of race, of class, or status. We don't want this type of people in our church. We don't want that type of person in our church. We're not going to that church because they have that type of people in their church. All kinds of foolishness. The resurrected Lord, when we meet Him, He does not distinguish between race or class or creed. God calls us to Himself. So my brothers, the church is not an organization. I need for us to remember that when at the organization you can turn up people like, I have a problem with, suppose I get a new spirit. I can fire somebody because they don't dress properly. In the church, sometimes we want to fire people because they don't dress, so we take them to them. But in a time, God will allow them to change and make the necessary adjustments. You know, put the barriers before. Let God change, pull down the barriers. Let God pull down the barriers. Church is not like an organization where if you don't do what I say, you got to get fired and through the door. God, look at the myriad personalities of the disciples. Look at the different types of persons the disciples were. Look at the early church. The different types of persons in the early church. There was no discrimination about people. We must be careful. So the question is for us then. How has my relationship with fellow church members developed since last Easter? Personal question. How has my relationship with other members of my church developed since last Easter? Are you warmer, more approachable, more considerate? What has happened to the quality of our relationship as members of God's church? Is there any improvement, or have you reached a point where there is no scope for improvement? Never is there scope for improvement in our lives, because we think we are perfect. There is always possibilities of improvement. Question: how has my relationship with fellow church members developed since last Easter? Do I still see others in terms of class, color, or race? What helps me to define people? Where they come from, the qualifications they have, their status in the society. What is it? Has that changed any at all? Your own attitude before you became a Christian, has there been improvement? You still see people as them over there, sir. And we over there, sir. What has changed? I am suggesting to us this morning our inability to treat others with love and compassion without consideration of race and gender is important for us in our development and growth as Christians. To bring relief to others sometimes requires suffering redemption. What do I mean? Self-sacrifice for the redemption of the well-being of others. We must put our pride behind us. We must remove the barriers between us. And some, it's not the other people, quite often it's not the other people who need to do it, it's we need to do it. We keep looking for somebody else to do it, when the problem lies within each of us. But none of us want to suffer anything, any inconvenience for the benefit of other people. An encounter with God, the God of Easter, reflects itself in the relationship we experience with others. The second thing that I want to observe from this passage is that an encounter with God, the God of Easter, reflects itself in our attitude to the use of resources. An encounter with the God of Easter reflects itself in our attitude to the use of resources. Verses 34 and 35. The brethren had a new vision of what life ought to be because of Jesus Christ. They were now members equally before God, race and class and all things gone. But it also demonstrates that their attitude to the use of resources that each individual had changed. There were people who were needy, poor, and there were people who were well off, rich. And what happened in the early church? Those who had shared what they had with those who did not have. Those who have shared with those who were members of the fellowship with a surplus in some of what they had. Ownership. The pattern of ownership change. We now become stewards of what we have, not owners. Stewards. God gives us wealth, assets, skills, not for ourselves, but to the building up of the body of Christ. When we are not Christians, we often see it as belonging to us. It's mine. And I choose with whom I will share. When we are children of God, we are stewards of what He has given to us, to be used for the benefit not only of ourselves, but for others of the thing. This is perhaps one of the hardest things that some people have. That's why Jesus said it will be hard for a rich man to enter heaven because he must go through a need. I have a need. Possessions. The gift that God gives to us, we turn around and own it. Who gives you the gift of intellect? Who gives you the gift of the skill of playing piano? The gift of preaching? The gift of teaching? Who gives it to you? You get up one day and say, what I can do? Put this gift into me. We need to see that what we have is from God. And its use must begin with the use to be used by God, not for ourselves. So self-interest. One of the things that we do sometimes, we exploit our skills even within the church. We hold on to what we have unless you do so. Me not do so. Hold to ransom those who depend upon and need the skills that we have. Because my skill. On the other hand, sometimes we forget that the other person who has the skills that human being and can't be everywhere, every time, and need rest. To be considerate. We need to be that. But the truth is, most of the times, I dare say, I'm going to bold to say, that we choose the gifts we have, we use it, exploit it for our benefit. In the church, in God's kingdom, the gifts we have, we are stewards, caretakers, holders of the gift for the use of the community. Are willing to give away everything in order that somebody else may benefit. But we not inconveniencing ourselves. That's the thing of the world now. Nobody wants to inconvenience themselves for anybody. If I give, I'm going to be able to eat one less pizza. If I give, I won't be able to go to the party and buy the dress or buy the suit or buy the shoes that I want to buy. And we have 10 pair of shoes. We have 40 shirts. Some people buy, almost every time you get paid buy a shirt. If you get paid every 2 weeks, and you buy a shirt every 2 weeks, after a while, how many shirts you wear? You can wear all of them. And I'm going not to ladies with the shoes though. But you can't wear more than one shirt and more than one pair of shoes. And we are not, as a youngster, I don't know why my parents and the others, we used to go to town every Saturday. And there's this one lady who says, and she said it in my hearing, she's not concerned about her children when she goes around Saturday because the neighbors will feed them. So if she sees a pair of cloth or something that she wants to buy, she buys it. Neighbors will feed our children. That is also true because we used to go to each other's house and eat. But some of us are like that. We are not going to inconvenience ourselves, deny ourselves anything for the benefit of other people. They must take care of themselves, other people. That is what some people see in the churches. Simply there to just pick up those who have been badly treated by the society. That is our job. Yes, it is our job. But it's more than that. We must make sure that within our company, the resources that we have are not used for the benefit of self-interest, but for others who need. Discernment of the need of others and the obvious ones that come our way. God's people respond to need. So a personal question then is this. How do I see the resources available to me? The resources that God has given me. How do I see that in light of my relationship with God? What you have, how do you see that in relationship to the God you serve? Is it for our use? Time, money, and talent? Is it simply for my use? Or is it simply for the use of everybody else? So when you are asked to do something, you don't just simply dismiss it. Give it some thought, man. You have the capacity to do, and you're not busy. Don't turn down the thing because you never like who asked you. Some of us, if the pastor don't come ask me some things, we're not really doing. Because if the pastor asks us, it's important. But if a brother asks us, we're just trying to pull one over. So watch our attitude. In God's church, all of us are equal. In God's church, all of us are given resources for the use of the membership of the faith. So my brothers, suffering redemption, sometimes I equate it to sacrificial use of resources and skills for the redemption of the needy. Suffering redemption is a sacrificial use of resources and skills for the redemption of the needy. If some of us don't make this sacrifice for something, some people within the church will never have a chance. If we misuse the resources that we have, some persons are going to be doomed to poverty, to sickness, illness the rest of their life. And it is incumbent upon us as Christians, where we can, when we know we can, we must respond. We must respond. There can't be needy within our midst, and we know it, and we don't make an attempt to resolve it. That is what God calls us to be, not to trumpet in the papers and on TV. what we do. God calls us to see a need, respond to the need as I do. The third thing that I want to bring to our attention. There's the attitudinal change. Relationship between members of the church change because of the resurrection. They voluntarily use their resources for the benefit of those they need. But you know what? What the passage says. They shared everything they had. No one claimed that any of his possessions was his own. They were needy persons. Those who owned lands and houses sold and brought. What does that tell you? Nowhere in the passage anybody was forced to do anything. It was not a command, a direction, a directive. It was because the persons had met God, and in light of God's revelation to them, it was changed attitude. Voluntarily giving and sharing what they had. Some people are mischievous, use this verse to indicate that it's communism. But this is voluntary. When we meet God, part of the outcome of meeting God is our change, our reorientation of our attitude, our mindset to life. And it voluntarily gives of what we have been blessed with so that others may benefit. So Pastor, I don't have to tell you that you must serve as an usher, or serve in the Sunday school, or serve at sports day, one of the marshals. Pastor, I don't have to beg you to do anything. Part of the outcome of responding to God's call is the voluntary giving of oneself to the work of the Lord. My brothers and sisters, when you read a little further down in chapter 5, the story of Ananias and Sapphira, you all know the story. What is the problem? The problem was not that they gave less than the land. That was the problem. It was, what the Bible said, it was theirs. You have $50 and you want to give 40. Thanks be to God. But don't give $40 and pretend that it's 50. That is the problem. Give voluntarily, generously, the best you can. But some of us have pride. We want people to think that we are more than we really are. The widow gave her one night. That was what she had. And she gave it generously, voluntarily. If you have to be begged to do anything for God, I challenge the encounter you have had with God. Especially when you know, and I know, that you have the skill and the capability and the ability to do what is needed. So many of us within the church, our response to any request is no. Unavailable. No time. With God in Jesus Christ at no time, where would we be? Where would we be? No willingness to sacrifice. But that's a call of the Christian faith. It's never to receive a bag of money, a bag of blessing. It is to serve. The blessings are outcomes that we may receive. Or we may be like Paul, all the rest of our lives we get beaten. Maybe we return to Makachukwi. That is the life that some of us live. But as we live through that life, the testimony is God is faithful and it takes us through the strength and faith of others. Some of us don't want to start because we want the blessing. We want the blessing. We don't guarantee the blessing. We don't start. The church. Give voluntarily. So some can give 10%. And at Baptist we don't emphasize a lot about tithing and so on. But look at it this way. Some persons can give 10%. with a struggle. Some, if they give 10%, they won't buy bread. Or a bus fare. So they give 2%. But some persons can give 15% and it won't even shake the pocket. It's not how much you give, but the generosity and the willingness to honor God. So if we can do more, do more. If we can't do more, thank God and give it generously and let us go on. But God asks us to voluntarily respond. My brothers and my sisters, is my giving and sharing a willing worship to God? Check for yourself. What you do and what you give, is it a willing, worshipful experience? Or are you under pressure? Like Ananias and Sapphira. Declare what is not true. Must I be asked before I volunteer anything for anything in the church? I wish it would be that the church would be saying that God have too many volunteers. But the church is like the rest of the world. 30% of the people go out of the world. What of the rest of 70% goes? Is God not going to ask? When you could have helped, you denied somebody who had to back up when they should have been spending time at your house with your children. You have the skill, you have the opportunity, and you decline. Not out of any serious reason, but you just can't bother to make any sacrifice. When we encounter the God of Easter, it changes our attitude to life. The relationship we have as members of God's church. It changes our attitude to the resources that God gives us. We are stewards, held in trust for the benefit of the community to which we belong. When we meet the God of Easter, not only does it change our attitude to resources and membership, but it also our responses of voluntary giving of what we have. God does not put a hammer over the rest of us. There is a song about give cheerfully. God wants us to give cheerfully. Not to be begged and beseech. Do you give cheerfully? Suffering redemptively is voluntarily responding to need as it arises. Suffering redemptively is voluntarily responding to need as it arises. My brothers and sisters, the Christian life is a difficult one. It's not an easy one, but puts us on the block. But we are reflections of God's grace. If we behave like the rest of the world, why should anybody come into the church? If we are selfish with the resources that God gives us, why should I become a part of that group? I have that outside all the time. If God blesses us and graces us, and we have to be begged and beseeched to do anything, why should I become a member of the church of God? We are witnesses to the first Easter day. Let us not be found weary in well-doing. We have a responsibility to care, to respond to the needs of others. Has God called you to do anything? This Easter, already Easter season passed. So we celebrate festival Pentecost, the outpouring of God's gifts and blessings upon His people. What is your Pentecost gift? You will make Pentecost pass, and you are aware of the need to do something and you don't do it. Cause this day to be a day when you reflected and you will remember God's call upon you. Go before. One. Amen. We are going to sing our hymn of response. because He lives.